Picture this. It's a beautiful spring day, perfect for gardening, but you're dreading it. You're thinking about hours of back-breaking work, digging trenches, turning heavy soil, all for a handful of potatoes. What if I told you that all that digging, all that sweat is completely unnecessary? What if the secret to doubling your potato harvest was to actually do less work? In this video, I'm going to show you a revolutionary method for growing potatoes that requires zero digging. A method so easy, you'll wonder why anyone still uses a shovel. Stay tuned, because your gardening life is about to change forever. For generations, we've been taught there's only one way to grow potatoes. You dig a deep trench. You carefully place your seed potatoes inside. Then, as the plants grow, you laboriously hill them up, piling soil around the stems over and over again. The logic is that this protects the new potatoes or tubers from sunlight and encourages more to grow. This is the way our parents and grandparents did it. And yes, it works. But it is incredibly labor-intensive. It compacts the soil over time and can be a nightmare if you have rocky or clay-heavy ground. The fundamental idea we're going to challenge today is that potatoes need to be buried deep in the earth. The truth is, they just need to be covered, and that simple shift in thinking opens up a world of possibilities for an easier and surprisingly more abundant harvest. So, let's start with the core concept. It's often called the no-dig or lasagna gardening philosophy. Instead of working against the soil by digging into it, we are going to work with nature by building our garden on top of it. Imagine how a forest floor works. Leaves and organic matter fall and decompose, creating rich, loose, fertile soil over time. Nobody is out there with a tiller. We are going to mimic that process. This method isn't just about saving your back. It's about creating a healthier ecosystem for your plants. By not disturbing the ground, you preserve the natural structure of the soil, protecting the worms and beneficial microorganisms that are essential for plant health. This is the first step to becoming a truly lazy gardener, letting nature do most of the heavy lifting for you. For this block, picture a simple side-by-side animation. On one side, a shovel violently digging up soil, and on the other, gentle hands layering mulch on top of the ground. Now, where should you build this magical no-dig potato patch? The rules are a bit different than traditional gardening. Of course, you still need a spot that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. Potatoes love the sun. But beyond that, you want to find a relatively flat piece of ground. It could be on your existing lawn, a weedy patch you want to reclaim, or even on top of an old garden bed. The beauty of this method is that the quality of the soil underneath doesn't matter much at first, because we're building our own perfect growing medium on top. The most important thing is good drainage. Avoid low-lying areas where water tends to pool after a heavy rain. Since we're building up, we want excess water to be able to drain away easily, preventing our new potato bed from becoming a soggy mess. Think of it as choosing a foundation for a new house. A solid, level, and dry base is the key to success. Here is where the real magic begins, and your shovel can officially start gathering dust in the garage. To prepare the ground, you don't need a tiller, a hoe, or any muscle at all. You need cardboard. That's right, plain old boring cardboard with any plastic tape removed, Simply lay the cardboard directly on top of the ground, whether it's grass or weeds. Overlap the edges by several inches to make sure no light can get through. This layer serves two brilliant purposes. First, it acts as a powerful organic weed barrier. It smothers everything underneath, so you won't be fighting grass and weeds all season. Second, it will slowly decompose over the months, attracting earthworms who love to feast on it. These worms will help improve the soil structure underneath. Give the cardboard a good watering to help it settle and begin the decomposition process. This single, simple step replaces hours of tilling and weeding. It is the cornerstone of our lazy method. With our foundation in place, let's talk about the stars of the show, the seed potatoes. It's tempting to just grab a few sprouting potatoes from your kitchen pantry, but I strongly advise against it. Potatoes from the grocery store are often treated with sprout inhibitors to give them a longer shelf life. For the best results, you want to buy certified disease-free seed potatoes from a garden center or an online supplier. About 2 to 3 weeks before you plan to plant, you can give them a head start through a process called chitting. This just means placing them in a single layer in a bright, cool place, like on a windowsill. This encourages them to grow short, stubby, green sprouts. These are not the long, pale sprouts you see on potatoes in a dark cupboard. These chitted sprouts are ready for explosive growth once they are planted, leading to a faster and more vigorous start for your potato plants. It's planting time, and this is going to feel strange, but trust the process. Take your chitted seed potatoes and place them directly on top of the moist cardboard foundation you prepared. You don't need to cut them unless they are very large and have many eyes. If you do cut them, make sure each piece has at least 2 or 3 sprouts. Place the potatoes with the sprouts pointing up towards the sky. You should space them about 12 inches apart, or roughly the length of a standard ruler in all directions. Give them plenty of room to grow. This part is incredibly fast. What would have taken an hour of digging trenches is now a simple task of placing potatoes on the ground. It might look a little silly, just a grid of potatoes sitting on cardboard, but you have just laid the groundwork for an incredible harvest. Take a moment to appreciate how easy that was. You've done the planting part without lifting a single shovelful of dirt. Now we need to cover our potatoes. This is the material that will replace the soil, and you have several fantastic organic options. The most popular choice is straw, not hay, which is full of seeds, but clean, seed-free straw. It's light, airy, allows for great drainage, and holds moisture well. Another excellent option is a thick layer of compost. This will provide a slow release of nutrients to your plants throughout the season. You can also use shredded leaves that you raked up last fall, or even a mix of all three. The key is to use a material that is light and fluffy. This is crucial because the new potatoes or tubers will form in this layer. In traditional gardening, potatoes have to push through dense soil. Here, they can expand freely and easily in the loose material, which often results in larger, better-shaped potatoes. So, go ahead and apply a thick first layer, about 4 to 6 inches deep, completely covering all of your seed potatoes. As your potato plants begin to grow, they will poke their green shoots up through that first layer of mulch. In a traditional garden, this is when you would begin the tedious process of hilling, scraping up soil and piling it against the plant stem. With our method, the process is much simpler and more effective. When the plants are about 6 to 8 inches tall, it's time to add another layer. You'll simply add more of your chosen cover material, more straw, more compost, more shredded leaves around the plants. Leave just the top few inches of the green leaves exposed to the sun. You will repeat this process 2 or 3 more times as the plants grow taller. Here's why this is so amazing. New potatoes form along the buried stem of the plant. Every time you add a new layer, you are creating more real estate for new tubers to grow. You're not just protecting them from the sun, you're actively encouraging a multi-level vertical harvest. One of the best parts of this method is how little maintenance is required. Let's talk about watering. That thick blanket of mulch you've created is not just a growing medium, it's also a highly effective insulator. It shades the ground, keeping it cool and dramatically reducing water evaporation from the surface. This means you will need to water far less often than you would in a conventional garden bed. Just check the moisture level by sticking your finger a few inches into the mulch. If it feels dry, give it a good deep watering. If it's damp, leave it alone. And what about weeding? It's practically a non-issue. The initial cardboard layer smothers most of the existing weeds, and the thick mulch on top prevents new weed seeds from getting the sunlight they need to germinate. You might get an occasional rogue weed, but it will be easy to pull out of the loose material. This is gardening on easy mode. This is the moment you've been waiting for, harvest time, and it is, without a doubt, the most satisfying part of the no-dig method. You'll know it's time to harvest when the potato plants begin to turn yellow and die back. This usually happens in late summer or early fall. Now, put away your digging fork. You won't need it. You won't be stabbing and slicing your hard-earned potatoes by accident. Instead, you get to have a treasure hunt. With your bare hands or with a small rake, simply pull back the layers of straw and mulch, and there they will be, piles of beautiful, clean potatoes sitting right on the surface of the ground or just barely nestled into the top layer of compost. You can just pick them up. It's incredibly easy and fun, especially for kids. The potatoes are cleaner because they haven't been growing in dense, muddy soil. The entire harvest process for a large bed might take you just a few minutes with zero risk of damaging your crop. The benefits of this method don't even end with the harvest. Let's look at what's left behind. After you've gathered all your potatoes, you'll see that the cardboard has mostly decomposed. The layers of straw, leaves, and compost are breaking down. All those earthworms that were attracted to the cardboard have been working for you all season, aerating and enriching the ground below. What you are left with is not a patch of torn-up dirt, but the beginning of an incredibly rich, dark, and fertile garden bed. You can simply leave the remaining mulch in place over the winter. By next spring, you will have a beautiful layer of new topsoil, ready for planting another crop. You didn't just grow potatoes, you actively improved your garden's soil health for years to come. You took a patch of grass or weeds and, with almost no effort, transformed it into a super productive, organic garden space. That is the true power of the lazy gardener method. So, there you have it, a method that completely turns traditional potato growing on its head. Let's recap the amazing benefits. Zero digging, which saves your back and protects the soil structure. Far less watering, because the thick mulch retains moisture. Practically no weeding, as the weeds are smothered before they can even start. And the grand finale, a larger, cleaner harvest that you can simply pick up off the ground. But the most incredible part is that by doing less, you achieve more. You create healthier soil and a more productive garden for the future. You work with nature, not against it. It's proof that sometimes the simplest, easiest way really is the best way. Thank you so much for watching. If you're ready to trade your shovel for a mountain of potatoes, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more game-changing garden tips. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever tried a no-dig method for any crop before? What were your results? Let me know in the comments below.